Coming up on this episode of Student DV, we'll learn what it's like to move across the world, we'll let our true colors shine, and we'll get to hear some facts about food literacy. Student DV starts now. Welcome to another jam-packed episode of Student DV. I'm your host, Mia Daniels, and I'll be your guide through today's student-produced documentaries. Our first documentary is a personal story of moving across the world.
My video is about when I was little. I first lived in Iraq, and then when I was 8 years old, I came to America because my parents wanted me and my brothers to get a better education, also live a better life. My favorite part of the video was interviewing my brother. My name is Ramlee, and I go to Carnegie Middle School. My video is about moving across the world. Hello, my name is Ramlee, and this is my story about moving to America. I was born in Iraq on 2002, January 5th. When I was 8 years old, my parents decided to come to the United States because they thought it would be a much safer life for me and my brothers, and also wanted me to get a better education. When I first came here to the United States, it was kind of difficult for me and my family because we had to leave our cousins, and my dad had to leave his job and basically everything behind. And it was also difficult for me because the only language I spoke was Arabic. But then after a couple of months, I started to learn English and I made new friends. And now I'm very thankful that I get a safe life and get a really good education.
My name is Ramlee. I'm from Iraq. I came to the United States back in 2010. My family and I left Iraq because of the war there. We left our family members there and our friends. It was very difficult for us to leave them there, but hopefully someday we could go back there and visit them. When I first came to the United States, it wasn't hard for me because I took some English classes back in high school, and it was very helpful to communicate with people. But the hard part was to get used to the environment. Now I'm part of this environment, and there is no way for me to go back in Iraq and live there.
Hopefully some other family gets to come to the United States and experience this life.
Our next video takes on another personal topic, this time about a terrible disease. Let's hear from Carnegie Middle School student Caitlyn about her video, The Effects of Multiple Sclerosis.
I did a documentary on the effects of multiple sclerosis and how it affects people's life. So I decided to do it on MS because my grandfather had MS. So when we were finding things to film, we emailed the MS Foundation and actually got an appointment with them. And I got together with my grandma because my grandfather passed away, and I talked with her. And then my partner who did it with me knew someone who had MS. So we got appointments set up and we went and interviewed them. My name is Caitlyn Brown. I go to Carnegie Middle School, and my video is The Effects of MS.
MS is a complex disease, but it's often considered an autoimmune disease. So autoimmune means that the immune system attacks itself. And in the case of multiple sclerosis, the immune system sets an attack on the nervous system, and specifically the central nervous system, which is the brain and the spinal cord, and also the optic nerve in the eye. In order for it to be diagnosed as MS, there has to be at least two of those neurologic events that have occurred, and they may be either clinically, they may be double vision, they may be numbness, or they may be spots on an MRI scan.
He was having problems with double vision. So we finally went to an ophthalmologist, and that ophthalmologist picked it up right away.
Looking at how you treat MS, it needs to be from a comprehensive standpoint. It's not just going to the doctor one time a year or twice a year. It's looking at it as a lifelong treatment strategy or treatment plan that includes multiple aspects of how you address that person's life.
Well, it does affect both his and my life because he was in a wheelchair, which made it harder for him to go a lot of places. But he had a positive attitude all the time. Nothing, that wheelchair didn't stop him from doing anything.
It affects my daily life because I can't do everything that I used to be able to do. Like, I can't exercise in a way that I used to exercise. I get fatigued very easily. I can't get overheated because I can bring out symptoms if I get overheated. Being out in the sun can be a little overwhelming, more so than it used to be.
And currently the medications that are available for people living with MS are for the people who are diagnosed with or relapsing remitting multiple sclerosis, but there are studies that are out there looking for medications and how they're treating people with the progressive form of MS.
Andrew Carnegie Middle School brings us the story of another important health concern. Let's hear more.
So it's a documentary about this disease called toxic shock syndrome, which is a very rare disease. And I wanted to do a video on it because my sister got it and I kind of wanted to get the word out. My name is Lily Martell. I go to Andrew Carnegie Middle School and my video is toxic shock syndrome.
So toxic shock syndrome is a medical problem where your body is invaded with a bacterial infection, and then you get bacteria release chemicals in your body that are harmful to you, and you develop shock, which is where you get a decrease in your blood pressure and your heart rate goes down and you end up being really super sick like you would a flu-like illness. I have had experience treating toxic shock syndrome, yes. And so I had a young teenager come in who had flu-like symptoms, and she had a hard time standing and she was dizzy. And after talking to her and seeing that she had this fine red rash on her body, I thought she might have toxic shock syndrome, and she actually went and spent a few days in the ICU and was really super sick. So you have to always be watching out for that, yes.
So this disease has affected me in many ways. My immune system has never been the same, which has been really rough for me. Just constantly getting sick and all that kind of thing. I would get a cold for a week, usually you have a cold for a week or so, but it would last like a month or two and I would just keep getting sick, and it's just been really rough in that aspect. And also, my heart doesn't beat the same, and it's not a drastic difference, but it has really affected my heartbeat and my blood pressure as well, which is really rough. I think I noticed it in both ways because mentally it's called toxic shock syndrome, and so you really go into shock. That's the main thing of the syndrome. And you're conscious of what's going on, but at the same time, you don't really understand the severity of what's happening to you. And people try and tell you and convince you of what's going on, and you kind of feel airheady, just a little confused at the same time. So that's that. And then physically, I was very affected. My blood pressure was super low. I already have a low blood pressure, but it was even more low. And I couldn't even walk. I'd faint all the time. I had to scoot across the ground or crawl because I just couldn't stand up, and I was just tired and very weak, and I just really had no energy to do anything. It's made me a lot more cautious because, as I said earlier, I would get sick very easily because my immune system was just so low. I would take antibiotics after antibiotics, which could kill the good and bad bacteria in your blood, so I'd have to take probiotics, and it just makes me really become a cleaner person and really watch out for what's going on around me. And not only cautious for myself, but cautious for others. I make sure to tell my story when it's appropriate so that other people can understand how to prevent it.
let your true colors shine through? Winston Churchill Middle School student Juliet does, and she wants you to as well. Here she is with more.
It's about being yourself and let your true colors shine through, to not change yourself for anyone, just be yourself. I love directing. It's something that I really enjoy. Hey, check out our video. It's called True Colors. I hope that you really enjoy it.
I'm not pretty. I'm not rich. I'm not popular. I'm not skinny. I'm not perfect.
You need to be who you are and not let anyone change that. I've learned from experience that people will like you a lot better if you stay true to yourself and not the fake person they want you to be. If they don't, then that's their loss, because you are your own self and you shouldn't let anyone change who you are.
Personality that matters.
Can I sit with you guys?
Sure.
Our Snapchat is so bad, it's like super weird.
My birthday's tomorrow.
I mean, my birthday's today, so yeah, we should go after
your
school.
birthday.
You guys open? I didn't have room for 5 in my car, sorry.
She doesn't even know only cool kids get invited.
Yeah.
Anyway, can I sit with you guys?
I really do not like your outfit at all.
Are you gonna go Tokyo Drift?
Yeah. Hey, Marissa, you should come sit with us. Your outfit is like that is amazing.
Sorry, I don't really want to change myself to be part of your guys' group.
What? That's
not. We're choice.
I think that people should just be themselves, and then they shouldn't judge you for the person that you're trying to be, and they should actually try to see the light in your original personality.
I think it's wrong because not only are you not comfortable with yourself, but others can tell when you're changing your personality to be friends with them, and it'll end up hurting your reputation with your friends.
So I believe that it's better to just truly embrace who you are rather than changing yourself for other people, because then you start to lose your identity and your personality and blend into who they are, and you should just be truly like who you are and your own individual, and find a group of people that fits for you, because that's when you truly feel accepted and you're at your best.
I feel like that other people judge me a lot because they think that I'm really smart, but I just try my best, and I don't always do that good on tests, but I feel like some other people, they don't hang out with me just because I'm like more smarter than them, and they think that I don't fit in with other people.
We saw that his real personality was a lot better than the fake one that he would use to hang around with us, and he ended up being a really good friend after he changed his personality.
Fit us, and what ended up happening was things started to change and it got a little different, and I felt uncomfortable in those types of situations, so I ended up having to move on and find people who I fit in better with and who loved me for who I truly was, and now I'm with a great group of friends and I'm really happy.
The fact that food literacy is important for ourselves and our future generations should come as no surprise. At least it doesn't to center high school student Mark. In his video, he manages to communicate many facts about food, and he does it in a creative way. Let's learn more.
Basically, the food you eat has an impact on you, the environment, the community, and others. So by learning about food literacy, you could help everybody around you.
Hello, my name is Mark Rudko, and I'm here to tell you about food literacy. And what is food literacy? Fact. We define food literacy as understanding the impact of your food choices on your health, the environment, and our community. So why does it matter? Fact. Our food system is linked to a host of problems: obesity, climate change, unhealthy diets, lack of food access, food safety concerns, workers' rights, and so much more. Fact. Every bite of food we chew has a story. Fact. Our food system is taking a toll on our health, the environment, our kids, and communities. Fact. Did you know that only 25% of Americans eat 5 servings of fruit and veggies daily? Fact. In Sacramento, 40% of children are overweight, a rate 3 times higher than it was 30 years ago when the obesity epidemic began. Fact: researchers believe we have 2 generations of Americans who do not know how to cook, meaning instead of cooking a healthy breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you visit your local McDonald's and munch down several thousand calories. Where to find more information? Fact: go to www.foodliteracycenter.org. Now that you know what food literacy is, start eating healthy.
Sleep paralysis strikes many people, and students from Luther Burbank High School are no exception. Producers Derek and Ariel bring us more information about this common phenomenon.
Our videos about sleep paralysis is just trying to spread awareness to how sleep paralysis is actually a critical chronic condition.
You should at least know what's happening to you.
And our video promotes like what you can do about it and what is the symptoms about it also.
Yeah, he's had it before, and we interview him in the video. I've never had it before, and it was interesting getting everyone's point of view of what sleep paralysis is and how it's different person to person. And now I would be calm now if I experience sleep paralysis, because I would exactly know what's happening. Yeah. My name's Derek.
I'm Ariel.
We go to Luther Burbank, and
our video is about sleep paralysis.
Can I sleep at night? Not really.
No.
I can't sleep at night.
I can't sleep at night.
Sleep at night.
I can't sleep at night.
Sleep at
I
night.
can't sleep at night.
I
can't sleep at night.
I can't sleep at night.
Sleep paralysis, a phenomenon where your body is literally paralyzed upon waking or falling asleep. Imagine yourself waking up in the middle of the night. You're conscious, but you can't move no matter how hard you try, and you can't yell out for help. Most people would be terrified. This is sleep paralysis.
Around 12 midnight, I woke up, but I couldn't move or speak.
I wasn't able to move my body, and I felt like a weird tingly feeling inside of me. And I was kind of scared. And then I got really scared when I felt my whole body shifting over to my left side because I was laying on my right. And when I felt something grab me and turn me over to my right side, it was a lady. She had like a lava face texture. She had white hair down. And I looked at her and I was just scared and I couldn't move. And my heart was just beating fast. And then that wasn't the end of it. Something else pulled my hair. It pulled my head back when I was laying on my right. It just pulled my head back all the way. And I was looking up behind me, and then I seen this man. He was wearing like a hooded cloak, and he was just staring at me there. And then when I woke up, I felt like my whole body went all the way back to my left side, and then I woke up from there.
Sleep paralysis is usually accompanied with hallucinations. These hallucinations aren't pretty, and these hallucinations are what cause myths and rumors of ghosts, demons, and other supernatural elements.
So sometimes when I sleep at night, I feel a pressure on me, like around my stomach area, and I can't breathe. It feels like someone is sitting on top of me. But I can't see what's going on, but I can feel the pressure like right above my face. And it feels like breathing. It feels like someone is breathing on my face. In our culture, we believe that sleep paralysis is a ghost sitting on top of you. So my parents believe that it's just stress. So sometimes I just chuck it up to stress and I just go along with it. So when it happens, it happens.
It's just a black figure, kind of like misty, but you could tell where his appendages were. And I could tell he had arms, and I could tell he had a head, but I couldn't see any of his features. I was terrified. I was like, "Mom, did you do that?" Because I talked to her, and I was like,
the same thing happen to you? She's like, no, but she just thought I had a bad dream, but it felt so real, you know.
I woke up, I was conscious in my mind, but my body wasn't. I couldn't move, and I felt like I couldn't speak as I tried to talk. I tried to yell, but I couldn't. And then I felt like there was something in my room with me, like, that I couldn't do anything about, but I was scared for like months afterwards. When you feel like you're held down and you can't do anything, like somebody takes the movement out of your body, it's a terrible feeling. You feel like you're useless, you can't do anything, can't even talk. All I could do was think. I had like a loud ringing noise in my ear where I could think, but I could barely hear my own thoughts.
This terrifying experience is a chronic condition most common with adults. Statistics show that only 8% of the general population have experienced this phenomenon.
Well, since I've already experienced it, I kind of would, as soon as I woke up and realized I couldn't move, I would freak out a little bit, but then I would realize, okay, this is sleep paralysis. I've dealt with this before, I know what it is, I just try to wait it out. And if I saw a thing again, I'd probably like stare back at it and try to challenge it. You know, I wouldn't be scared.
So what you actually can do to prevent sleep paralysis or just better it is becoming really relaxed. So that means not going to sleep late, and instead of coffee, drink tea or milk because they have natural ingredients that help soothe your body and your mind. Pick up a book and read it until you fall asleep, or listen to your favorite song at night before you go to bed to become relaxed, because stress causes sleep paralysis. Take up a new hobby like yoga, something really relaxing. Just being relaxed and not being tired or stressed out is what really helps prevent sleep paralysis. And if you could avoid all these factors, then do it, because sleep paralysis isn't the best thing you want in the world.
You may have heard of the Pythagorean theorem, but I doubt you have heard the whole story of the man behind the theory. Here's producer Aiden from Herman Leimbach Elementary School.
At first, we were just doing the Pythagorean theorem. We were just going to make an entire video about the Pythagorean theorem. But then we interviewed Professor Carl Huffman, and he showed us that Pythagoras had many beliefs in gods, and so, well, not gods, but he had many just in general beliefs. And so then we decided to make it about that. You need to work well with other people. If you don't know how to work well with other people, then you're not going to get the help you need to do the video. My name is Aiden Thorpe. I go to Herman Leimbach, and the name of my video is Beyond the Pythagorean Theorem. When most people first hear the name Pythagoras, they think of the Pythagorean theorem.
However, Pythagoras has a bigger story than you might imagine.
He had some interesting views on life and was well known not only as a mathematician, but also as a philosopher.
Pythagoras' full name was Pythagoras of Samios. It is believed that he was born in 570 BC in Samios, an Aegean island.
He left Samios at the age of 18 to study in Phoenicia, Egypt, and possibly Babylonia. Pythagoras was well known for his exploration of new ideas, one with mathematical thinking.
It was called the Pythagorean theorem. However, he also founded a school in Croton that stressed 4 disciplines: number theory, music, geometry, and astronomy.
In his school, he exchanged a variety of ideas with the followers, which were called Pythagoreans. Pythagoras and his followers believed in many things,
one of which was reincarnation. Pythagoras believed he had memories of his past lives, which helped him develop this theory of reincarnation.
As we learned in our Skype conversation with Professor Carl Huffman, people followed Pythagoras for this reason as they encountered his ideas.
Pythagoras set himself up as an expert on what happens to you after you die, an expert on the fate of your soul after you die. He believed in reincarnation, or or the Greek word for it is metempsychosis, big word. And that means that after you die, you don't completely die, you're reborn again, either as another person or as an animal.
They were also very disciplined and followed strict rules for the group. For example, all members had to be vegetarians and were not allowed to write down or share the beliefs of the group with others. They were also not allowed to wear wool since it came from an animal.
They thought the very worst thing was anarchy. That'd be lack of rules, lack of laws, right? And so they thought, for instance, that if you followed Pythagoras, you were told that you had to believe the gods existed. Because if you believed the gods existed, then you would think the gods were watching you, and so you wouldn't do bad things, right? He also said that if you followed him, you had to obey all the laws of your country, because those were good restrictions. They kept you from going too far. You were also supposed to obey your parents and follow your parents for the same reason. Pythagoreans were also famous for the Pythagorean way of life. You learned to be silent. You were famous for not saying many things. They're like me, I'm talking a lot, right? But, and they were famous for being able to be quiet and not talk all the time. And this was, again, they were controlling themselves. And they were supposed to not ever do anything for the sake of pleasure. Again, they're supposed to be self-control. Going for pleasure makes you lose control of yourself. So you were supposed to do things only because they were noble or good, or because they were advantageous in some way. And finally, they said you were supposed to be a good friend. Friendship was very important to them. And so they said to be a good friend, you should never be in competition with your friends. And you should never abandon your friends unless they became really, really evil. You should always be a loyal friend and stay with them and never be the cause of a breach in friendship. So there were all these rules about how you should live your life that I've just given you, and people like those rules.
Pythagoras and his followers believed that everything could be explained mathematically. For example, they found a mathematical explanation for music, which was that when dividing a string and plucking it with your fingers and applying the same tension, exactly half of a note would be heard.
That note would be exactly 1 octave higher than the other note, as you can hear in the following example. Pythagoras was highly influential during his life.
In addition, the ideas he exchanged with others influenced those who encountered his ideas even after he died. The exchange and development of Pythagoras' philosophies had great influence on generations to come. In fact, other philosophers like Plato and Aristotle followed some of his ideas.
In conclusion, Pythagoras explored new ideas. When people encountered these ideas, he gained more followers, and through the exchange of ideas, Pythagoras and his followers developed new ways of looking at life.
That's all I have for you on today's episode of Student TV. If you want more, there's always more student videos to love on SECCTV.org. I'm Mia Daniels, signing off.